We thought it was a steal, a beautiful, hand-carved mahogany wardrobe from an old estate sale. The house itself was a relic, one of those places that feels like it's holding its breath. Waiting for something, we brought it home, placed it in the master bedroom against the far wall. It dominated the room, ancient and silent. That first night, it began. Just a whisper, so faint, I thought it was the wind, or maybe the old house settling. It was a sibilant, rustling sound, like dry leaves skittering across pavement. I got up, checked the window. It was shut tight. The sound seemed to be coming from the direction of the new wardrobe. I dismissed it, told myself I was tired, my mind playing tricks on me. The next night, it was clearer, not just a sound, but a voice, a whisper, still, but with an articulate quality. It was my name, Daniel. It was so soft. I wasn't even sure I'd heard it, my wife. Sarah was fast asleep beside me. I sat up in bed, my heart starting to drum against my ribs. The room was dark, save for the sliver of moonlight cutting through the curtains. The wardrobe stood like a dark monolith. Daniel, there it was again. Closer, it seemed. I crept out of bed and put my ear to the cold wood of the wardrobe door. Silence. Nothing. I felt foolish, a grown man spooked by a whisper. I convinced myself it was a dream. But it wasn't a dream. Over the next week, the whispers grew more frequent, more distinct. It wasn't just my name anymore. It started whispering Sarah's name too. Sarah, beautiful Sarah. One evening, as we were getting ready for bed, we both heard it, a soft, collective sigh that seemed to emanate from the wardrobe. We froze, looking at each other. "Did you hear that?" she asked, her eyes wide. I nodded slowly. We opened it together. We pulled on the heavy brass handles. The doors creaked open, revealing nothing, just the dark, cavernous space inside, smelling faintly of cedar and dust. We ran our hands along the smooth back panel, knocked on the sides. It was solid wood, nothing hollow, no hidden compartments. We closed the doors, confused and unnerved. That night, the whispers were different. They were conversational. "Did you like our home?" One voice hissed. "It's dark in here," another one murmured. The fear really set in when the whispers started telling us things. Things no one could possibly know. One night, a childlike voice whispered a lullaby that my grandmother used to sing to me, one I hadn't heard or thought about in 30 years. I sat bolt upright in bed, drenched in a cold sweat. Sarah woke up. "What is it?" she asked. I couldn't speak. Then a new voice, older and raspy, whispered, "He remembers." Sarah had a small, silver locket she'd lost years ago on a family trip. We'd searched everywhere for it, but it was gone forever. Also, we thought. A few nights later, a voice, sharp and clear, said, "The silver heart is not lost. It's in the lining of the old red coat." We stared at each other in disbelief. The next morning, Sarah went to the back of the hall closet, pulled out a winter coat she hadn't worn in years, and felt inside the pocket. Her hand came out, and in her palm was the locket. We didn't talk about it. We couldn't. How do you explain the impossible? The whispers became a constant presence in our lives, a chorus of unseen entities living in our bedroom. They weren't threatening, not in the traditional sense. They never yelled or screamed. They just watched, and they talked. They talked about our day, as if they'd been with us. "The coffee was bitter this morning, wasn't it, Daniel, Sarah? You almost dropped that plate." We started sleeping with the lights on. It didn't help. You can't illuminate the shadows in your own mind. One day, I found an old newspaper clipping tucked away in a drawer of the estate's paperwork we'd been given. It was an article about the family who owned the house where we bought the wardrobe. The headline was chilling. Family vanishes without a trace. It spoke of the Orlingtons, a mother, a father, and their two children, who disappeared from their home one night in the 1920s. The article mentioned that neighbors reported hearing strange voices and whispers coming from the house in the weeks leading up to their disappearance. The last sentence sent a shiver down my spine. The only thing out of place, the sheriff was quoted as saying, was an empty space in the master bedroom, where a large wardrobe was said to have stood. I looked up from the paper, my blood running cold. I looked at the wardrobe. It seemed to pulse in the dim light of the room. A new whisper slithered out, clearer than ever before. It wasn't a fragment or a name. It was a full sentence, an invitation. It's time. We've been waiting. Another voice joined in, then another, a swirling symphony of unseen tongues. The door is open for you. You have been chosen. Join us. We never opened the wardrobe again. We boarded up the bedroom, sealing the door shut. We moved into the guest room, but we can still hear them. Muffled, distant, but they're there. Sometimes, late at night, when the house is quiet, I can hear a new sound, a soft, rhythmic knocking from behind the sealed door, a gentle, patient tapping on the other side. They're not just whispering anymore. They're waiting, and I can't shake the feeling that the wardrobe isn't a piece of furniture. It's a doorway, and something is holding it open for us, from the other side. They know our names, they know our secrets, and now, I think, they want to know us. We live with the constant, quiet horror of knowing that we are not alone in our house, and we don't know how much longer we can resist the urge to see who's knocking.